Sigma CEO Katsuto Yamaki said he's working on a new lens, a lens for sports and wildlife photographers. Could it be something like a 100 to 600 millimeter, or perhaps an affordable 200 to 500 millimeter with a fast aperture of f2, f2.8, or f4? And will it be available on the E mount, Z mount, and Canon's exclusive RF mount? We'll cover the key highlights of Yamaki-san's interview. But before we get to the details, I have a simple request. Please subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything, helps this channel grow, and keeps you up to date on the latest camera coverage. Sigma recorded an internal interview with Sigma UK asking questions to the CEO Katsuto Yamaki. Situated at Sigma's headquarters, Yamaki-san was asked why they still make their lenses in Japan. And Yamaki-san, well, he gives us two reasons.
First of all, we like to achieve the top or best of best quality for all of our products. Not only one product, but all the product we make every day must be top quality.
It's easy for any company to aim to produce the best of the best, top quality products. We see a lot of companies promising this, but as I've seen at Best Buy and other stores, you see people bringing in products that failed to meet expectations. They didn't deliver on what was promised, and the quality wasn't exactly top-notch. So digging into a little deeper as to why Sigma still produces their products, their lenses, in Japan, at their headquarters, well, Sigma CEO Yamaki-san offered two reasons.
We need the very long experienced workers. In Aizu, some of the employees are third generation. Their grandfather and father worked for Sigma, and now grandkid work for us.
Not having shareholders is a really big deal. If you're not familiar with how the publicly traded system works well, most publicly traded companies are focused on the short term, driving value to the shareholders quarter after quarter. There's that pressure to deliver positive quarterly earnings, to beat expectations, to beat the street. But the problem with that is you lose this focus on the long term about achieving your vision. By having a private company, they have complete control over the decision making themselves without the pressure of outside shareholders. But Yamaki-san kind of drifted away from the central question, which was, why do you still build your products, your lenses, your cameras, your accessories in Japan? Well, here's his answer to that.
Another reason is that Sigma is still a family-owned, private, independent company.
So they like their employees, they protect them, they believe in a sense of social responsibility. That sounds great. Sounds like a great CEO. In fact, this sounds more like a promotional video up to this point than a proper interview. Still though, you have to wonder, if you've got employees working generation after generation after generation, they've got to be doing something right.
Increasing the sales or increasing the profit is important, but also we need to take care of the people or employees who work for Sigma. If we offshore the manufacturing site, we need to reduce the number of the people, number of the employees at the factory in Japan, which is not what we like to do. We need to protect the workers' jobs. So we like to take the balance with the company's profit and also social responsibility to the employees and the local society. That's the reason why we still stay in Japan.
The interview goes on for another few minutes, unraveling the history behind the company and how Yamaki-san became CEO 12 years ago, and his views on responsibilities to the environment and to his workers. Okay, so let's move away from the history, the soft questions about Sigma, and how the CEO, Yamaki-san, believes his responsibility is to not only you, the customer, but to his workers and the environment, to how this company has become a competitive and innovative company, and how innovation and being competitive kind of works with keeping one foot in the past and treating workers right, keeping things locally. How do they possibly balance that out? Well, here's what Yamaki-san had to say about that.
Well, I don't think these two things are kind of trade-off. My father always wished Sigma being an innovative company. Our company newsletter has a strapline which says Sigma, the innovative company. So we always challenge to become an innovative company. So for us, or for me at least, respect the tradition and try to something new, challenge something new to become innovative. It mean the same thing.
In 2012, when Yamaki-san took over as CEO, he introduced the global line of lenses. That's the R, temporary, and sports lines, making the next question highly relevant. How does he see Sigma's position in the marketplace?
I really just want to make the best products that I can be proud of and I can recommend to our family members or friends or parents with full confidence. This is what I'd like to achieve. But in long run, our goal is to become the best brand in imaging industry. I like to make Sigma the most loved and the most respected brand in this industry. Until then, we will continuously work very hard.
Have you ever heard the expression, marry the lens, date the cameras? Well, this is what Yamaki-san had to say about that.
We have made many innovations in lens, which makes the photography more innovative. So I think it's quite logical for people to choose the lens first and then choose the camera body.
Next up, how does Sigma decide on what lens to make?
I meet a lot of people in the world, and I always get many requests from photographers or business partners. And then if I'm excited about some of the ideas, I always give the ideas to engineers. Sometimes I come up with the idea by myself. But also our product planning team make some proposal regarding the new product. And also our engineers are so passionate about photography. They are also good photographers, so they also come up with some ideas. They ask me to design this kind of lens. So we discuss together and make a product roadmap together.
AI is having a rather large impact on our industry, like many industries. Now, for some of us, like me, I find it useful. I find it as a rather decent research tool, but mostly I find that it's really good at, well, editing, copy-proofing my scripts. It does a very good job in terms of research. I find that sometimes it's really good and sometimes it does a terrible job. And as a photographer, as a videographer, well, I don't like how it takes our images and video and makes them seem unreal, gives it that uncanny valley kind of look to it. I know I said that wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. But for others, it's worse because it's taking away jobs, it's taking away incomes and livelihoods. So, what is Yamaki-san's view on AI and its impact on us photographers?
So far, AI is, work based on the database, lots of data. So if you use AI, all the pictures look similar because it's based on the database.
Yeah.
But the photography is different. Each photographer has their own style, and they try to be unique or innovative. So I'm not sure if the really fine art photography has a good match with AI technology.
Yes.
Also, photography has a long history. 200 years of history. And people always admire the picture that looks real. So if AI may deteriorate such authenticity or the fidelity of the picture. So up until now, I do not expect too much about AI.
Okay, now we get to the question, the real question, the reason why you tuned in to watch this video. Yamaki-san has asked if he can give us any hints on what they're working on. And here's what he had to say, and I gotta tell you, it is intriguing. It gets me excited about what we could see potentially in 2025.
But one of the products that excite me a lot is the telephoto lens that have never existed before.
Really?
Yes. So sports photographers and wildlife photographers might be very excited about the lens.
That sounds amazing. And that's coming quite soon?
Well, I can't tell when, but we are working very hard on that project.
Are you excited? Has it got you thinking? I gotta tell you, I'm pretty excited. I do like my telephotos. I've got the 100 to 500 millimeter here, f4.5 to 7.1. Over here, I have the 200 to 800 millimeter f6.3 to 9. I like both of those lenses. But I'm also wondering what, well, Canon's working on with the 200 to 500 millimeter f4. There's certain lenses like Canon's 100 to 300 millimeter. These are $10,000 lenses. They're expensive. And what Sigma's shown to Canon and others is they have a very good quality level. It's not just a vision of the company to produce quality lenses. Yamaki-san is bang on. Their lenses are built with metal and glass and designed very, very well. They're rugged and they have really good optics, but for a fraction of the price of Canon lenses and other lenses. Now, the 100 to 300 is optically a very, very good lens. And I'm not suspecting that whatever Sigma's up to here is going to approach that same level of quality. And while that 100 to 300 is ideal for sports photographers, well, for you and I and for others, if Sigma could produce something very close to that quality level, but for a fraction of the price, for $2,000 or even $3,000, just imagine of how many customers they would get across the entire landscape. E-mount, Z-mount, RF mount. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a 100 to 300 or a 200 to 500 millimeter or something crazy like, well, they got their 60 to 600 millimeter, but some focal length that just allows us to really zoom in, but also pull away. And that alone isn't exciting. But if they can pull off an f4 throughout the focal range, or perhaps an f2.8, or f2, or dare I say it, an f1.4? No, an f1.4, that's just silliness. But just imagine for a moment your ideal super telephoto lens, whether it is a 200 to 500 millimeter, a 100 to 500 millimeter, or something in between. Sigma's CEO, Yamaki-san, has said this is something they're working on, something for sports and wildlife photographers. So that tells me it's going to be a fast lens, and it's not going to be a traditional focal length. But I can tell you this, it's definitely going to be cheap. There's something about this interview, and I get it. This is not a hard journalistic investigative reporter type interview. It is a rather soft interview. It's produced internally where Sigma UK is interviewing the CEO. But I've watched enough of these videos where Yamaki-san does an interview in his 12 years as reign of the company. And I'm going to be honest with you, after watching this video and some of the others, there's something about the way he talks. He has a mildness to him, a kind of relaxed, welcoming tone to him. And English isn't his first language, but he does a very good job of setting the tone and the, how should I say, I'm at a loss for words right now, but after watching the video, I feel excited about what they could come out with, getting me to the point where I want to buy some of their lenses. But sadly, currently for the Canon RF mount, not the E mount or the Z mount, we only have Sigma lenses for the APS-C cameras. It still works on the RF mount for the R5, the R5 Mark II, and other full-frame cameras. But I really do hope that this telephoto lens for sports and wildlife photographers is announced early in 2025 for not just the E mount, the Z mount, but also the RF mount. But yeah, there's something about the softness and mildness, mild-mannered speaking of Yamaki-san that, yeah, pulls me into his videos. I would love to visit Japan and tour one of their facilities, taking videos, doing interviews, doing a real long, in-depth piece on Sigma. I find it truly exciting. I love the cameras, and you know, it's funny that old saying, you marry lenses, but you date the camera. But we all know that's not really true. For most of us, you marry the ecosystem, right? I mean, I think it is very much important to, if you're starting out, to look at what lenses interest you. I think that's very, very important. If you're looking at the E mount, see what lenses there really capture your attention. If you're looking at the newer Canon RF mount, what catches your attention there? And if you can pick out, let's say, 3 lenses at the very minimum, and that gives you a lot of what you're looking for, and you're really happy with that, then buy into the ecosystem and get a camera that matches up. But once you're in there, you're kind of married to both. It's not like you're gonna invest $10,000, $20,000 in lenses and then say, you know what, let's switch over to another vendor and do the same, sell your gear and take it as a loss. But speaking of Sigma lenses, I want to bring this up because an awful lot of their lenses are currently on sale. Here, Ryan, will you bring up those sales, please? Let's cue the clip. You can save $154 on the 24-70 f2.8, $114 off the 70-200 f2.8 Sports, $100 off the 18-50 millimeter, $75 off the 30 millimeter f1.4 Prime, and many, many more Sigma lenses are on sale, and along with many other camera brands. And if you're interested in picking up on any of these deals, then please consider using my links down below in the description. These guys right here to Adorama, B&H, and Amazon.com. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you here. By doing this, you're helping to keep the lights on. I'm not tracking any data on you. I'm not storing any other information. Basically, you click on those links. It takes you directly to Adorama or B&H or Amazon. And you don't have to fill in any codes. You don't have to go through any fill out any forms or anything like that. You get to save on some really great lenses and up to 25% off. And I get to get a small commission or feedback. And a big thanks to all of you that have helped me out in the past. You're helping to keep the lights on and this channel going, and it's very much appreciated. And I'm not kidding. By using these affiliate links, what you're doing is you're helping me keep away from using those Squarespace ads, Skillshare, and while I think they produce really good products, I think it's a bit of a disservice to you to have you watch a pre-roll ad on YouTube and then no less than 30 seconds in, and you're watching a 60 to 90 minute ad. I don't really like that. I actually pay YouTube a certain amount a month, and just so I don't have to watch ads, and then I have to watch ads. So I'm doing my best to avoid those. I get multiple requests a day asking for some sort of paid sponsorship, and you know, I wouldn't mind doing some sort of in studio product placement, doing something like that, and like having an ad here or something. You know what I mean? Some sort of product placement. But as far as doing some sort of intrusive 60 to 90 second, I think it really takes away from the video. But I'm a bit of verbal diarrhea here. All I'm trying to say is, for those of you that have used my links, thank you so much. And thank you for sticking to the very end. It's very much appreciated. Have yourself a great week, a great weekend, and Christmas is not too far away. Let me know in the comments section if you purchased anything for Christmas, if you're expecting anything to show up. For me, well, I'm expecting this week at some point to get the Canon RF 50mm f1.4 VCM. But that's for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again soon.